What's up, guys? Today we'll be unboxing and checking out the Galaxy Z Flip 5 here. This one was requested and it's pretty interesting. So are these folding phones the future of, the smartphone? And not just the Z Flip, but the Z Fold as well too. Do you guys think this is the future? Alright, so there's a phone right here. And let's go ahead and get that out. And I'm pretty excited for this one because the screen is much bigger, so you can use the screen by itself. It's pretty nice, and overall just has a really nice, solid, premium feel to it. I actually really like this color as well. Alright, and of course we get, the usual. No charger in the box. We get our SIM ejector and, of course, the USB-C. Alright guys, so I got it set up a little bit, and let's talk about the hardware. Really nice looking phone in person. I think it looks even better in person, and obviously this is for people who really want a sort of compact phone that you can interact with. Now, Samsung has the home screen on here set up to where you could hop into widgets and stuff like that, and even you can access notifications and stuff and sort of interact with them here as well too, which is really useful. But the screen is overall, it's a really kind of a big display here for a cover screen. It's a 3.5-inch display, and then it's also Super AMOLED, or 3.4-inch, sorry, and then it's 720 by 748 display, 306 for the PPI. So it does look sharp, it looks really nice. And then you also have these widgets here, you can do that, and then if I hold it, you can add more widgets on your home screen. As you can see, a timer, stocks, all that good stuff. So it's, basically what a folding phone should do. Be able to easily access, interacting widgets and stuff like that. Just to get into information quicker. That's the whole sort of concept with these folding phones. Now, when you open the phone, it's a pretty massive display. It's a 6.7-inch display, and it's a very tall display. So it's Dynamic AMOLED, it's 120 Hz HDR10 Plus, very bright at 1750 nits, full 1080p 425 for the PPI. Of course, we have our punch hole, respectable bezels on here, and overall, it's a very nice looking panel. Samsung makes arguably the best panels. So one of the questions that I get is, can you feel the crease, and are you going to be running your fingers across the crease? Well, since the phone is so tall, basically you won't really feel the crease, and I honestly can't even really see it. Depends on what kind of wallpaper you have, but I honestly, even on a white background, I couldn't really see it. So you can't really see the crease that much. Your fingers are not going to be interacting with it, honestly, at least for me, because I have smaller hands, but you're going to be swiping like this anyway. So you're going to be swiping like that, so you can't really feel it. So, and then if you do, just train your hands to swipe up here, like where the crease is not, and you won't have to feel that little, that little bump, right? But overall, I'm really impressed. I honestly can't see it. I think you guys can kind of see it from this angle, kind of, but it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, so the display is just absolutely, it's a beautiful display. The only weird thing with the display is that, if you are watching content, right? So if you're watching content, you will see like these pretty big, you'll see these pretty big like bars on here, as you guys can see. So with the phone, even if you crop in, you kind of cut off too much of the video, so you kind of have to deal with these kind of bars, unless you're watching a video with this type of longer aspect ratio. Then yeah, but I think the display is overall fine. It's really nice. You have to set the phone up with a physical fingerprint scanner up here, and I'm glad that it's in a spot even where I can reach it, so it's not, and I really love the physical fingerprint scanner. I think it's better than the in-display fingerprint sensors, in my opinion. Just feels more natural, but I like that they went with that instead of an in-display one, because that would have been kind of a pain with just how long this phone is. But yeah, so hardware wise, it's IPX8 dust and water resistant. So it's not dust resistant, it's just water resistant. So it's not IP68, so I wouldn't get this phone wet. It could probably handle like a spill, right? Or like if you're out in the rain, light rain, but I 100% would not get this phone wet. This is a phone, even though because it's so expensive, $1,000, you really need to just throw this in a case, 100%. Throw it in a case, make sure it's protected. We have stereo speakers on here. Let's go ahead and check those out. Pretty good sounding stereo speakers on here. You get a really good amount of volume at the top speaker as well, so that's really nice. So no issues with that. And also the phone does lay completely flat. It's just like I wouldn't want to lay this phone flat because again, you got the cameras that kind of will get scratched up. So like I said, this is a phone like I would immediately throw in a case. But yeah, and also interacting with the screen on here, I thought from looking at the pictures you would be rubbing your thumb across the camera lens a lot, but that's not the case. I'm not having that issue at all. So that's really nice. Alright, so let's talk about the specs a little bit more here. So the Flip 5 is running the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. It also has 256 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM on the base model here. And of course, it's a flagship phone, so you can expect to, be able to play PUBG. HDR Extreme looks like the best settings that we can get here. And of course, it's going to be super smooth and fast for gaming. And I think the cool thing about this phone and also the S23 Ultra is that these phones do really well with gaming and also for like longer periods of time without getting too hot. Like let's say for instance the S21 Ultra with these really any Snapdragon 888 phone, you would notice those phones get kind of warm when you're gaming for a long period of time. But with this phone and the S23 lineup, they are really efficient, the chip this year. And I'm not sure if this one is overclocked, like the S23. We know that that chip is, for Galaxy overclocked, basically. The Geekbench scores are here. And show you guys. So here are the Geekbench scores here. So really nice scores. The phone is blazing fast, and you can see the difference between like the older phones, the S21 Note, stuff like that. All right, so let's talk about the cameras on here. So you can access the cameras through here as well too, and you can see it can go from photo to video and all that good stuff, and also a portrait mode. So you can get to the cameras and use this to take selfies with. Just know it'll be in a different aspect ratio. But let's talk about the image quality. It's pretty much what you would expect from a Samsung flagship phone. Great photos on here at 12 megapixel standard and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Since this is a folding phone, there is going to be no telephoto lens, so no real zoom on here. It's just digital zoom, and it shoots in 4K 60, and then you have a 10 megapixel camera when you flip it open, and then that's 4K 30. And the images themselves are pretty good. Like I said, you can get sort of a better selfie if you use the front cam. Also, which I thought was nice, but the image quality, it's not going to be like the S23 Ultra where you have crazy zoom and 108 megapixel, 200 megapixel, but it is going to give you a good, photos. It's a great point and click camera. Whether you're in low light or good light, it's going to give you, fantastic photos. So I had no issues with the image quality, and it's pretty much the same for video as well too. I'll do a comparison with the S23 to see if we can spot any major differences, but it pretty much looks on par with the S23 Ultra pretty much. So overall, I had no issues with the video quality and the stills on here. You're gonna get flagship quality shots here. Alright, so lastly, I want to talk about battery life. So this is something I have to spend a little bit more time with, but just using the phone, it feels like this could definitely be 6 hours of screen on time for sure. Like I said, I have to use it a little bit longer, but I don't think battery life is going to be terrible on here, just looking at the way that it's been draining since I've been using it. So it has a 3700 milliamp hour battery, 25 watt fast charging, which I wish it was 45 watts at least. It also has the wireless and the reverse wireless charging as well too. So yeah, so overall my first impressions, I really like it. The phone, like I said, you really have to be one of those people who want something that's more compact, and then something you could just take out your phone, and you sort of get access to these widgets without having to open it, all the way up. And yeah, so Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.